See? Okay. I wonder if this is all working. So if someone can hear me, let me know. That'd be really nice. So I am almost ready. I just have to try to turn off the music somehow. Yeah, here we go. And this goes off. Cool. Beautiful. All right. So this is the second episode that I'm gonna do in building my game in the summer game jam organized by Game Makers of Iceland. So the goal here is to just live stream all of my development of the game, and like that includes the idea work and all of that. So uh, continuing on where we left off yesterday, so we ended up with not having worked on the game concept very much, but we were much more focused on just getting the game mechanics down and the core loop of the game. I want to do that. Let me see. Just gonna really copy paste and say core loop. So the idea was to start making work a little bit on the concept, but I'm really eager to start working on the actual development and jumping into Unreal Engine. So I think I'm just gonna keep the concept a little bit open, but I can talk a little bit about what I want to do with the concept. So the concept is white night, and I want to do night as in not day. And basically what I want to do is I want to do something about like the difference between night and day. So like when the sun goes down, there's there's darkness, and then the sun comes up, there's day. So I want to do something where I'm getting coffee. I want to do something where it's set up like some sort of a battle between light and dark, and in some rare cases, the light manages to beat the darkness. So you have this kind of you manage to have the dark. The light manages to beat the darkness. So you yeah, so that's kind of the concept. So I wanted to do something where you as a player, you're playing in this kind of realm or in this area where the dark, you're fighting the darkness, and if you win, the world gets a white knight. So so that's kind of the concept. Uh, but I think I'm gonna jump into Unreal Engine. I'm just gonna start a new project here because I wanna show all of my steps here. So let's just start that off. And coffee is still very hot. Let's see. Unreal Engine is starting up. Cool, cool, cool. And we'll just wait for that. I always I always wanted to have like this really low music in the background, but I can never figure out how to properly balance it so that it's like not too loud, like not in the way, and it also actually distracts me often a little bit thing when I'm trying to talk and trying to think. So we'll wait for this to start up. So I'm making a new project, so I'm guessing it's gonna ask me to pick a template. Yeah. So I'm actually gonna start, and that might be a bad idea. I'm gonna start with a blank project, and I'm gonna put this in a folder called Summer Game Jam. I'm gonna delete this folder, and I'm gonna create a new folder called Summer Game Jam. Select it, and I'm gonna call the game White Knight here. I'm gonna do a C++ project, not necessarily because I'm gonna be writing any C++ code, but there might be a, I might do that. There's a chance I might do that. So, and I'm using blank just because I also just wanna kind of set up everything from scratch. So now it's gonna create my project and auto create some of the coding files. Still very hot. So I'm gonna see if I can open up the So while this is opening up, I'm going to post on Twitter that went live and post a link to this here. Post. Cool. Okay. Yeah. So I think our plan of attack is going to be, maybe we create a new we're going to create a new frame here below where we kind of just track our tasks. So I'm just gonna steal this here, and I'm gonna say the first thing that I want to do is I'm going to make the framework files, and I usually call these framework files. These are things like the player controller, the pawn, and any kind of base things that I use for the project. So I'm gonna go here and make a new folder called framework, and I'm gonna make a new level here, and I'm gonna do a basic level so that I have some lighting. I'm gonna save this level under a folder called maps, and I'm gonna call the map underscore main. So these are just kind of these are just kind of these conventions that I've gotten used to doing. So let's go here. It was complaining about something in project settings, so I'm just gonna go ahead and double check that. Editor startup map, I'm gonna put that to main, and yeah, we're not gonna do a server yet. If we do. Okay, so we have a map here, and if we take a look at the project, we can see that we just have the game mode base. So let's jump in and start creating the framework file. So I'm starting off by creating a player controller, calling it a BP player controller. I'm gonna go ahead and create a pawn. I'm actually gonna create a character instead of a pawn. So the character is it is a special subclass of the pawn, and I'm going to create my own game mode here. I'm going to call it game mode. Okay, so then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to open up the game mode, and I'm going to tell it that my character is the default pawn class here, and I'm going to tell it that the player controller is my player controller. And then I'm going to say that the project itself, game mode, is supposed to be BP game mode. And what's going to happen now is that we're going to spawn into the world, and nothing's going to happen because, but you can see here on the right that we have BP game mode, we have BP character and player controller. Okay, so I'm going to open up the character, and I'm just going to add a sphere here. And on the the character, I mean, so this, let's scale it down a little bit, like 5 maybe. We'll add some content to this later. So now that we play, nothing's gonna happen because we're actually inside of it. And let's add a camera. Move the camera back a little bit and up here. So if there is a camera, if I remember correctly, on the pawn, yep, then it's gonna possess. It's gonna possess our sphere. If the camera is here, let's just put it here, and then I'm gonna go ahead and create a player controller, and I'm just gonna do these really simple. I'm not gonna deal with any inputs yet. Like I might refactor it at some point. I'm gonna do key binding W. To find the W key binding is really hard when I'm key input. Oh, sorry, input. Here we go. These are debug keys. Debug keys. Where are the? Here we go. Okay, so I'm going to do AWS for movement. So W A. I really wish I could find it right away. Let's see. It's probably like I would probably have been faster doing this if I put the enhanced input on it. Input. Here we go. Let's make for great content. So we want to do, we did W, we want to do A. I do it like this. Input A. WA, input S. We have S and input E. Here we go. Okay, here we go. So we have the input keys here, and this is I'm doing it this way, just making it so that I can do it as fast as possible. All right. So we have our player controller. Add input. I'm gonna see if that does anything. Nope. So I'm gonna get controlled on. Cast to character. Add input. Add movement input. Okay. So when we press the A key, we want to go to the left. So that's going to be, what is it? We say it's going to be positive. Okay, so this is a little bit of a boilerplate, but instead of doing it like this, I'm going to save movement input direction here as a no, I'm not going to do it like that. I'm going to just start by W and just get this to work. So when we use the W key, we want this to move forward on the x-axis. So once we press the AWS S key, we want to move like so. We want to move on a -1 here. So if this is correctly set up, which it may not be, we should be able to move back and forth. Okay, so nothing is happening. Why is that? Yeah. So maybe it's because it's not going fast enough. So let's try to multiply this by 100 and multiply this by 100. There we go. This is what I was afraid of. So we do add movement input. And our character is not moving. So let's just try and do add movement add input vector. Is that what we want to do? Let's see if it moves itself now. Yep. Here we go. Okay. So let's do add movement vector instead of add movement input. Add movement vector. Like so. And let's get rid of this. Here we go. And here we go. And again, this is going to be -10. There's going to be +10. And this is all going to be refactored once things are working. So I'm just doing this as kind of dirtily as possible. So now, why isn't it moving? Because is the cast failing for some reason? No. Force. Yeah, this is fun. This was supposed to be the easy part. Okay, so let's move all of this logic over to the character, even though I'm not a huge fan of this. This actually works. And then we can just say like this, we can do this, and we can do this. So we're not forwarding any messages. So the reason why I was doing that before was because it's better. You have to do it if you're doing multiplayer. You have to do it like this. S is pressed, and let's just get that working. So okay, yeah. So here we go. So it's only happening once. So that's what's happening. So if we do minus 1,000, for example, it's still not moving. It's really annoying. As pressed, we add movement, add input vector here, -x. See if there's anything in the log. Okay, so this is fun. So basically what I'm going to do, I'm going to start this off from one of the templates. I don't really understand why this didn't work out of the box, but just in favor of saving time and not trying to figure something out that's already been solved. There's probably something relatively dumb going on that I'm not seeing, but I'm not going to spend a huge amount of time trying to debug it. Because we can start with the like I can start here with the top-down version, but I was really hoping that I could just build it myself, because otherwise, like, it's normally either you build something up from source, from the ground up, or you take something and then you modify it. White Knight C++. Right. So yeah, I hope I actually did plug my camera in this time, so I'm hoping that it's not going to get disconnected again. So so that would be very nice. I have all of the wires in the right place, but I just accidentally, I was charging my phone or something like that, which meant that, yeah, it wasn't working. Yeah, we ran out of battery yesterday, which was a little bit unfortunate, because we were on a pretty good roll, to be honest. I mean, I started to feel like, when I'm starting out, like I'm pretty nervous, and it's hard to kind of get into the zone. So it took probably like half an hour yesterday to get into the zone, and we had a good maybe 15 minutes or something where I felt like everything was flowing. But then at the end of it, we yeah, the battery ran out of the camera. Okay. So okay, so this is not what I wanted, because this is this has controls, mouse controls. So I'm gonna go and I'm gonna make one more template, and I'm gonna do the third person template. Let's see, close this down. Start it again. But yeah, I was definitely not thinking that it was going to take me half an hour or 20 minutes to get up and running. So I've really been thinking about if this like if this makes sense to do it like this, to do streaming. Why not? And I forgot to make a C++ project, but that doesn't matter, because I mean, game development is so much of this. I mean, you think a lot of the times you just spent on like these weird, you just stop because of something something really annoying. But okay, so let's just start with this one here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go in and we're gonna modify this. So I'm gonna let's just keep this map. I'm gonna get rid of all of these platforms here, because this is having platforms is not part of the design of the game. So, but we have this room that we can use. We have a starting location. So if we take a look at what we were thinking about, like it looked something like this. We wanna start somewhere in the middle and work from there. So I'm gonna put our player start, which is this one. I'm gonna put it here. I'm gonna point it in this direction. So when we start, this is where we start out. I'm not really happy with the way that the camera is set up for this. So I don't want us to be able to move it with the mouse. So I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna go into the third person character here, and I'm just gonna start modifying. So the camera boom here has the used camera control rotation, and I think that if I turn that off, yeah, so now I can't use the camera. I can't move the camera with the mouse, so that's good. And I think if I turn on all of the inherit logic, so now it's just gonna run into the direction that I want it to. So W is moving it on the positive x-axis, and the S button is moving it on the negative one. So this is what we wanted. And now all we have to do is we go ahead and we pick a better location for it. So that's fine to do it like this. I think I wanted to move it back a little bit more. 100. Put it on the center. See how this looks. Here we go. And the last thing is we want this to be rotated. So I'm gonna wrap this in a scene component so that I can rotate it. Here we go. And I'm gonna wait. Okay, so maybe I have to rotate it here. Yeah. -90, maybe. Nope, it's the other way. +90. And we don't need the scene component, then we just put this here again. Remove the scene component. Okay, so I've -9. Now it's 90 degrees. So you can see here, yeah, the character gets moved a little bit. So okay, so now we are spawned into the world, and this is kind of behaving the way that I intended it. I actually want to do a little bit more of a angle here so that it feels a little bit more top down. Okay, and I always kind of like when I'm using the camera boom to give it a little bit of lag, enable camera lag, and have the lag speed lower, because then, yeah, the camera lags behind a little bit. Cool. So now we've started to be able to walk around the game a little bit, but I'm a little bit annoyed with the kind of the position of the camera. I know the player is in the center. Oh yeah, that's actually a good thing that I'm noticing. So one of the things in like especially in Binding of Isaac, for example, oh, I can't believe it. The camera is out of battery again. Okay. All right. So I think I'm going to have to stop this because I need to figure out my battery, or I'll just turn off. I'm just gonna keep going for a little bit, but I'm gonna turn off the camera. This is really annoying. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I need to like, I thought I have it plugged in now, but for some reason, like, I can't have it on and stream. So you will just have to live without seeing my face for a while. So what I noticed is that now that I'm setting up the actual game here, and I'm running around, like, the camera is moving. So this is more of a kind of action RPG type, like Diablo or something like that, Path of Exile, which is kind of cool. But I I think I don't want to do that. I'm kind of thinking, I'm kind of thinking that I wanna, let's see if I go here and here and here. Yeah, this is cool. Yep, and the mouse is still messing with it. So I'm gonna do a quick test, and I'm gonna see if the if I like what would I have to do to kind of get rid of the camera and just have the camera in a fixed location. So let's see if how we would do that. I don't know exactly how I would do it, but let's see. And it probably has something to do with not having the camera collected. Let's see. So I could. So I'm pretty sure I could just place the camera into the level like that. That would probably work. I could add a camera actor here, and I think that there is a way to auto activate it for player 0. So now that works. So I'm gonna move the camera so that it sees the whole level. Yeah, exactly. So now it kind of sees most of the level, and now that I press play, yeah, that's kind of cool. I think I'll do something like this. I also noticed that the my player start here is pointing in the positive Y direction, and I think I want it to be in the positive X direction. So I'm gonna start here, and I'm gonna place it directly in the middle. So put it here, and move it up. Let's do -90 so it's straight down. I'm gonna lower these walls. So I'm basically now just kind of exploring what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna lower this a little bit, and the player is here, and the camera actor is here. So we place it somehow like this. Let's see how this looks. Okay, the character is pretty small, but the area is also pretty big. So we can, like, this is fine, I think. Yeah, I think this is fine, and I'm actually kind of liking the top down view here. Okay, so let's take a look at some of the so yeah. So now I'm pretty happy with the controls. Let's take a look back into Figma and see what we were trying to do. So we have this concept of player enters a room and player solves a puzzle. So I think I'm going to focus now on making it so that this that we can go into a separate room. So I'm just going to go and I'm just blocking things out. So I'm going to do, this is not what I wanted to do. I'm going to do a cube here. And let's see how this would look. Something like this and something like this. So here, we would have these doors here. So and basically what I want to do is I want to make it so that when I get to this door, I switch over to a new level. Okay, and the new level, we're not going to do anything fancy. We're just going to take this level. Let's see if I have it all. Yep. I'm going to group it here. Not like this, but I'm going to do a group. I'm going to make it a folder, not a group. And I'm going to call this level 1. And I'm going to duplicate this and call this, and that's going to be called level 2. So like so, and I'm gonna move the level 2 here and make sure that we don't see it in here. Okay, cool. And then I wonder if I should just duplicate the camera and just activate that camera. That would be kind of cool, I think, to activate the camera. Like, yeah, just have these kind of standalone. So once it moves, yeah, we activate the camera. Yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do. So the moment that we actually move over to the next level. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna let's just take a screenshot of this and move this into Figma. I'm gonna add a door here. Here we go. So now we're basically making a little bit of an MVP, or a minimum viable product. So I'm gonna take a screenshot of this. I have my 2 levels, and I really like to do stuff like this. So I'm gonna take the screenshot, and I'm gonna say this is gonna be level 1, and this is gonna be level 2. This is door 1. Make this a little bit smaller, and we put this in bold because this really matters. Door 2. And our goal is to teleport the player between these 2. Yeah, so this is what we're going to try to do. We're going to start in level 1. Start point. It's going to be here. Let's do level 1 here and level 1 here. And point. So this is the this is basically the goal, our goal. And how do we do that? So we know that we're going to need some logic here, and I think we can do this by just making adding the logic into the door itself. So let's go into Unreal and create a blueprint or logic for the door. So I'm going to make blueprint. I'm going to make a blueprint for the door. I'm going to call it, it's going to be an actor. I'm calling it BP room transition door. And the idea is that this is an object that allows you to transition into a new location. So what we want to do is we want to add something visual here, so we can start prototyping with it. I'm adding a box. I'm adding a cube, not a box. And I'm just going to give it some size here. We'll switch this out for regular graphics at some point. So now I'm going to do a box. So I'm going to do a box collision, and I'm going to say that I'm going to make it a little bit bigger here. And I have my box collision selected here. I'm going here on the right, and I'm going to do on begin overlap. So this is going to happen when a certain thing overlaps it. So you can see here, overlap all dynamic is set. So anytime that anything dynamic overlaps this this box here, which is outside, like, and it's a little bit bigger than our door, it's going to call this event. So we're going to check is the other cast to character, or we can even do BP cast to third person character. I think that's what it's called, our character. And I'm just gonna say, I'm gonna do print string, and I'm gonna say the I like to use the format text node, and I'm gonna say character open close just walk through door item. So I'm going to say that the character, this one here, just went through the get display name, get display name. Okay. So if everything works, this door should let us know that once we get across a long thing, we should be getting a print statement. But that's obviously not going to work because we haven't really put any doors. We didn't put the doors in yet, our new door. So the transition door here, I'm not going to put it at the end of the level because I noticed the walk is really, really far. So now it's just going to be the moment that I walk into the door, we should see a message saying character, third person character. You can see it here at the top. If I use the mouse, it messes up my control, so I'm not going to fix that just yet, but you can see that I'm getting this overlap event, like that's working now. Okay, so what I want to do as well is, I think I'm going to add a new component here. And I'm going to do an arrow component. So the arrow component is basically just a fancy transform. So you can see it here. And I'm going to say that whenever you walk into this door here, we want to teleport the player to wherever this arrow is. So we're not going to care about, like, we don't have any verticality, so we don't have to worry about how high it is. So now you can see that because I added this arrow, you can see that I have this arrow here, and I can actually go in here and I can move it on a per instance basis. So I can say, okay, so I want to move you to the corner whenever this happens. So you can see now that the arrow here is in the corner. So instead of printing this, that's actually not a bad idea to keep printing this, but I'm gonna get the third person character and I'm gonna call teleport. And I am going to get the arrow. I'm going to do get location, but I'm only going to use the X and Y coordinates because I don't want to mess with the Z coordinates. And that's an interesting thing here. Okay, so this is actually kind of cool. I'm also going to take get rotation. The world rotation, and I'm only going to use I'm not going to use the pitch roll. So if I have my camera on, you can see that you would be able to see the thing that I'm doing with my hand. But let's see. So yaw, pitch, roll. Yaw, pitch, roll. So we want to do the yaw, if I remember. And yaw, roll, pitch, yaw. So we do yaw. So what I want to happen is I want us to end up. So I'm gonna do this here. Let's see, here we go. So if we rotate the arrow here, so you can see that the arrow is, I'm just gonna delete what we have so that we can get a new default object. So here we go. And if we do go in here and we rotate this, we can actually control how like the direction that we're going to be spawning in if this works. So now you can see that this arrow here is pointing in this direction. So if everything works as planned, if we go into this door here, we should be teleported to face the wall. And you can see that this is happening. So, and we can do this again. Okay, pretty cool. So that means because we're not doing anything super fancy, so we're just moving the doors like this, or moving the rooms like this. They're just like kind of next to each other. So we can say that the door here is here. And we can then take the arrow and move it. And we want to say you're supposed to be pointing forward. like this. So if we go into the door now, on the other end, we will teleport over to the next room. Like so. But the problem is going to be that we're not activating the camera. So I'm kind of thinking, I don't know if this is going to work, but I want to add another, I want to add a variable here to our door. I'm going to say this is going to be the camera to activate. And this is, let's take a look at what type this camera here is that we placed. It's a camera actor. So camera actor, here we go. So this is an object reference, which means that now that because I press the I here, my door can now, you can see here that if we minimize all of this stuff here, yeah, here we go. So here you can see that I can pick a camera actor. So we have a camera actor here. This is the room 1 camera actor. So I'm just going to rename it to room 1 camera actor. And I'm going to do another one called room 2. There. And I'll move this into this group. And I'm going to move the other one into this group here. And I am going to, on the second one, I'm going to say don't, we don't want to auto activate it like we did with the other one. So camera, where did this go? Activation, auto activate. So auto activate can be, that's fine. Moving this around a little bit to keep the hierarchy. Yeah, auto player activation is on this one here, and then we have auto player activation disabled on this one. Okay. So, and then this is going to be the tricky part. I wonder if this is possible. So I'm gonna activate camera component. Maybe this works. Let's just try it out. So we're going to say that when you go through this, we're going to take the camera to activate that we have configured on our instance here. So this is the instance, and which is this one. And we're going to say camera 2, room 2 camera. The moment that we enter this, if everything goes as planned, we should teleport over to the other room. Okay, so the camera didn't activate, so there has to be some other logic. Let's double check. I'm going to move my teleport, my room here, and I'm going to move the arrow all the way over to the other level here, and I'm going to add a cube into the second level so that I know that that I'm going into it. Okay. First, I want to see if this code actually runs. So, and lo and behold, yep. So it runs, but I don't get the breakpoint. It's interesting. Here we go. And yep. Okay, so nothing is working. So I'm gonna do a few things that I'm trying out. So get camera manager, and I'm gonna camera. Let's see what we can do from the camera manager. So we're not going to add a component. We want to, so I know that we could just teleport the camera. So, but I really want us to just activate the new camera. So do we do set camera? No. Switch camera, is that a thing? Okay, so let's just do it the other way. So we're gonna say that the moment that we go through this, we're gonna do get camera manager, and I think we can do set camera location, get camera. set camera. Yeah, so I want to teleport the camera. And how do I do that? So it's I know this is possible in, like, I could do this in C++, but I really, really don't want to do that. I know I can. Get camera manager. Okay, so the camera manager, just camera manager. Okay, camera manager. So let's see what we have. So get transform component. That's not gonna help. Location, get camera location, add world offset maybe. Let's see what happens if we do this. Nope. Yeah, normally the way that you would do this is you would do this with having the camera attached to the pawn, and then when we teleport it, it moves. And maybe we just do that. Oh, I don't want to do it like that. I want to activate the camera. I want to use this camera. Okay. So one thing that we could do, we could take a look at C++, but like that's super annoying. Thinking about this. So I'm pretty sure I could just do this then. Yeah, okay. So this is probably going to work. So I'm going to remove the camera here, and I'm just going to have one camera. That's going to be what we have. Just going to put it here, and this is the top-down camera. And it's going to start in this direction. It's going to start here, which is fine. And then I'm going to do a target point, and I'm going to say I'm going to call this camera level to camera point, and I'm going to say this is going to be level 1 target point. Okay, so this target point is going to be here, and this target point, like this is the location of the camera, so I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to say that this target point is supposed to be here. Let's save this. Yeah, here we go. So instead of having a camera to activate here, we're going to have a target point object, and get rid of this. And we are going to have the yeah, and then we are going to have the player. Whenever the player moves, it is going to move the camera. And the way that we do that is like this. We're gonna say yeah, we can do it here as well. Get all actors of class with tag camera actor, and I'm gonna say call this main camera. So I'm giving the camera this camera here a tag, an actor tag, so that I can find it pretty easily. And again, like this is something that it is actor tags here. It is going to be done in many ways, so this is just for doing it as fast as possible. So anytime that we move, we search for the camera, and yeah, and we're going to assume that we always find it because it's in the level. And then we're going to do camera target point, and we're going to do get location, get actor location, and we're going to do set actor location. Here we go. To teleport, so this should probably work. So this means that now we have this door here, we have this camera here, and we have this door, and it is supposed to point at level 2, like it moves us to level 2. We can see it here. So what should happen is that now that we play it, it should move the camera to the other level, which it does. And now we just have to make sure that the settings are somewhat similar. So basically what this needs is the height and the Z value has to be the same. It's not going to do that. Let's try it. So we walk in here and we move, and then we get teleported to the other room, and we should be able to do the same. We just duplicate this. So we have another door here. We rotate it around. We say when you go through this, we want to activate camera target point 1, which is on this side, and let's something like this, 90. And where is the target arrow? It's pretty far. So now we can do something a little bit more kind of sane here. Here we go. Moving it here, and this is supposed to be here. And here we have the movement arrow like this. Just say it's here. So now when we run through it, we get teleported to the other room, and now we go back. So we kind of have these two rooms, and we can move between them. And the last thing I want to do here is I'm gonna set get camera manager. I'm gonna do a fade. I'm gonna do start camera fade. I'm going to go from 0 to 1 over 0.25 seconds, and we are going to hold when finished. So first we before we teleport, I'm going to get rid of these print statements now, and before we teleport, we're going to do the fade. So we overlap, fade for 0.25 seconds, and we hold. So we add a delay node here for the same amount of time, like so. So this should fade us to black in 25 seconds. Then it's gonna teleport, and after that we should fade back in over. So we go from 1 to 0, and I like to have the fade out a little bit faster. So now we run all the way over here. As you can see that we're getting a fade moment here. Okay, so there's a bunch of kind of tweaks that we could do here. But I'm pretty happy with this, to be honest. So if we take a look at our design again here, we managed to build this. We have 2 levels. We have a starting point, and we have a door that moves where we can go over to another door. We can go back and forth between the rooms. So the our goal here to enter a room, we can say that this is pretty far along. Even could say that this is done. Let's change this into another color. So what we wanted to do, we wanted the player to solve a puzzle, and we were going to do combat to do it, but I think just getting the logic working is going to be pretty important. So I think what we could do is let's make another level here. Here we go, level 3. And we can move it over here. So this is going to be level 3 camera. And the level looks something like this. And now we can just take this here. And it doesn't really matter how far away they are. They just need to not be visible when we walk to them, towards them. So we can go here and it teleports us over here. So we configure this now and we say, here is the transition. And this is supposed to transition to level 3 camera. And let's add a way back here. And this transitions to level 2 camera. Okay, so let's try this out. Okay, so we can see a little bit of this the other level, so that's something we need to fix. Yeah, okay. Let me just really quickly. I can't touch the mouse because that's gonna mess up our logic here, the movement logic, and I don't want to fix that right away. There we go. So we get to this level, and we can go back here. Okay. So now what I want to do, I want to make it so that these doors support being locked. Like I want you to go into the room, and I want you to not be able to do it unless there is unless you have what you need to do it, like you've accomplished the goal. So the first thing I think I'm going to do is I'm just going to add the state is locked. And here, if we overlap, we can now basically ask, is it locked? And if it's not locked, we can do this. We just do the teleport. But if it is locked, we're going to say print string. We're going to say door is locked. Finish your objective. And the doors here are all set to unlocked in the beginning. So now we're actually starting to feel a little bit of the that we need to do a little bit more architecture to get this working. So I'm just gonna start out first. I'm gonna make this is locked. I'm gonna make it. I am going to make it public so that I can actually lock a door. So here, this door to the left is going to be locked. So let's just see what happens. We can get across. And this is not going to let us through. Door is locked. Finish your objective. Okay. So we've added the locking mechanism, but we don't have any way to deal with that. So what pouring coffee now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into Figma here, and I'm going to make another plan. So basically, we have these environments, and these are just kind of free flowing environments. So I think it would be good if I had one object, a room object. So it doesn't have to have any graphics or anything like that, but the room object should keep track of is it should know of all doors, so that the room object can so the room object can unlock them. It should know of all the state of the puzzles. So if a puzzle gets finished, then that puzzle can notify its room that it should open the doors. Okay, so let's just make the most simple version of this that we can think of. So I'm just going to make an actor, call it BP room room manager. I always get a little bit of a, like, if I'm doing something that's a manager, then I'm probably doing something wrong, but not here. So basically the idea is I'm going to drop each one of these in here. So this is going to be a room manager. I'm going to have one room manager per area, and what I want the room manager to do is I want the room manager to know of all of the doors, and this is going to be the doors, and I'm going to do an array here, so there could be multiple doors, so the room manager is not going to care about that, and I'm also going to do pickups for now, or yeah, let's just do pickups. And I'm going to do one new actor. So basically the logic that I'm going to do to try to get what we're doing here, this thing here, I'm going to do it so that these pickups are the puzzle that we're going to solve. So I'm going to do BP pickup, and let's create a sphere and a sphere collision. So you don't have to do a separate collision, like, but I kind of like to have them separate. So you can see here that I have this kind of this overlapping component here around my sphere, and I'm gonna say that this pickup needs to know about the it needs to know about the room that it's in. So I'm gonna say room manager room manager, here we go, and this is a pickup, and the room itself here is also going to know about the pickups. This is prime for refactoring, but here's the idea. So I'm going to start up with room 1, and now I actually kind of like doing do a text renderer here on top of it, and I'm gonna just say room. Yeah, so I'm even gonna say on the construct set text, I want to have the name of the object, get display name. I want to have this that's not right. Go get display name here. I'm gonna have this floating, it's called self. I want to have this floating above my object so that we can see it, and I'm gonna have it in the center. Here we go. If we take a look, you can see, and because we're doing a top-down game here, it's probably a good idea to make this just be here looking up, and we can change the color of this to be something cool so that we can see it. Yep, this is fine. Okay, so now we have this room manager here. Here we go, and we're going to put it into our room folder, room number 1, put it into room number 2, move it over here, and like I'm just going to wait with room number 3. So this is going to be room manager 1, And now that I changed the display name of it, it should get updated here as well. Yep. Room Manager 1, and then we're going to do Room Manager 2. So Room Manager 1, we're just going to leave it as is. Room Manager 2 just lives here. So here we can say, yeah, we have to open this up first. We want the doors and the pickups to be public so that we can set it on the instance. So here you can see that there are doors. We have 2 doors here. So this is a door. This is transition door 3, and we can do something like this and something like this. Okay, so, and we're going to say that there is 1 pickup here, and this is going to be our pickup. And so we're going to let the room manager here know. Yeah, cool. And we are going to make it so that these 2 doors are locked in the beginning. So now that we play, let's see. So the logic that we want to make on the room manager is on begin play, we want to loop through all of the pickups each, and we want to tell the pickups that we're going to notify it of the room manager. Not great architecture, but fine. And then I'm going to make a new event called unlock all doors, and I'm going to do a print statement. I'm going to say unlock all doors, and then we're going to loop through all of the doors here, and we're going to set the set is locked false, so this is going to unlock all of the doors. Okay, and then the last thing that we want to do here is once this gets picked up, and we're going to do this with the overlap. So we're going to do a cast to third person character. So if the third person character overlaps this, we want to get the room manager, and we're going to do unlock all of the doors like so, and then we're going to do destroy actor. So we're going to destroy our pickup, and yeah, this is probably going to work. So we run over here, we can see the we can see our room manager. Let's run over here. This should be unlocked. Okay, so the door should be locked. Door is locked. Finish your objective. All right. So the objective is to go in and pick up this cube, and maybe it's just placed in a weird spot. Yep, it's probably way too high. Put it down here. So we'll run across again. Let's go and pick it up. Unlocked all of the doors, and now we can get through to this one here. Yeah, and the doors stay unlocked. So that's pretty cool. I mean, this definitely needs a little bit more work if we want to make some more fancy things, but I think this is a pretty good start. So I'm not going to do this any longer today. I still need to figure out how we deal with the battery issue on the camera. But I feel like we've gotten a pretty good kind of base for what we're trying to do. We have the player entering the room, and we can solve a puzzle, which actually kind of gives us success, and the reward that we're getting right now is unlocking the next door. So we're moving forward. So yeah, I mean, I hope this was fun. So I'm aiming at doing this again tomorrow. So hopefully everyone will enjoy.